Hello everyone, I'm back. This is Mark, and I call this The Modern Age, and today I'm going to be talking about an issue which, it's a pretty big issue at the moment in political discourse. I've been asked about it in my comments, and it's something I've been seeing around, and I've referenced it before in previous videos, and that is Section 18C and D, I suppose, and free speech in general. Section 18C of the Racial Discrimination Act. So, I started doing a lot of research about this and what I was going to talk about, and I was researching the bill and the history of it, and history of cases that have used the bill, particularly the borderline cases. So the two big cases are the Andrew Bolt case, and so the borderline cases are most important. Andrew Bolt case and the QUT student case, and I wanted to give an informed, educated opinion on it with lots of evidence. But the longer I spent thinking about the issue, the more I started to get really angry about it, because anyone who's watched my videos, watched any of my other videos, and it's going to be all through my future videos as well, is going to know that one thing that I'm passionate about is identity politics and breaking down identity politics. And this issue in particular is absolutely emblematic of identity politics. It is the exact definition of a wedge issue, and it's the reason why I've changed this format. So I'm going to make a quick video now where pretty much I'm just going to rant and rave, because this is an issue that has been drummed up in the media and in government by super conservative groups and super liberal groups to talk about the idea of free speech. And if you want my opinion on the act itself, I think it should stay. I don't think there's anything wrong with the act. I think the mechanism by which it is adjudicated before it goes to court could probably be improved so that frivolous cases are thrown out much more quickly. So let's say, for example, the famous QUT case. But I don't think anyone's free speech has ever really been stifled in a terrible way. So that borderline case, the grey area case of Andrew Bolt, I think that was a pretty fair enough decision. The dude slandered and libeled fair-skinned Aboriginals, and it was, if you read the ruling, and I'll find a link to the ruling, I'll post it down below, I think it was pretty well explained, the idea of fair use. But if they changed it to the mild version of what the liberal, what the coalition will probably decide on, I probably wouldn't be too upset at that either. I think that it's on the line. I don't think it's really infringing on anyone's rights, and I think Section 18D and the idea of fair use, is that the right phrase? They kind of cover it. So if it goes to a judge, it's not a law designed to prevent people from being offended. It's really, I don't know, I think it's a fair law, but either way, I honestly think it's a very small issue. But I think it's an issue that's been absolutely blown up by the people in power, especially the Murdoch media, especially the people on the far left, and especially the government, and it's just increasing the divide between people, and it's helping people yell at each other rather than talk about issues, and it's getting in the way of talking about real fucking issues. So, while the government has been spending hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars, and wasting so many hours debating it in Parliament, how many pages over the years has it been dedicated to in newspaper print? And meanwhile, coal companies are the major contributors, of political donations to both our political parties. We can't come to a decision on climate change. We can't effectively combat climate change. Nobody in this country can afford a fucking house. We don't have internet. We don't have, to some people in the country, we don't have adequate internet to a vast swath of people. Even in the cities, we don't have proper infrastructure. We have people still sitting in a tin can off the coast, being basically tortured and held in a concentration camp. Human rights abuse is being committed by our fucking government today, and people are yelling at each other about the definition of what is offensive and free speech. And it's just something that makes me so angry, and I really think it's getting in the way of the big issues. So, is free speech important? Of course, we all believe in free speech. Do we worry about the government will take away our free speech and the government will start defining what is offensive, and what people can and can't talk about? I mean, not really. That's if we put all the effort we put into defining what is, the 18th C and combating it was put into having a fair and transparent democracy, we don't have to worry about a totalitarian government suddenly overtaking and suddenly invading our privileges. I mean, it's just, I don't know. As a good lefty, I look at politics as, this is a very grossly simplified way of looking at it, but of being between the haves and the have-nots. And there are far more have-nots than there are haves. It's a little more complicated than that. With the bureaucracy, there's this middle class as well. And for the people in power, the haves, the big corporations, the billionaires, the people with real power, they keep that power by keeping especially that middle class that are on that borderline of do we have not, do we blame the people below us. If they keep them arguing about bullshit issues and keep them scared of the big government taking over them or big corporations taking over them, they keep them scared and focusing on these stupid issues, they can keep fucking us. And right now we have wage stagnation in Australia. People can't afford a house. There's expanding gap between the wealthy, there's a gap of wealth and income, and we're discussing ad nauseum 18C, and they're proposing making amendments to it that really aren't going to do much. So, what's my opinion on 18C? Keep it as it is. That's my opinion. But how about we do it quickly? How about let's stop talking about it and let's start actually talking about the real issues that really face this country. That's how I think of that. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. If you think I'm way off, if you want me to talk more about this issue, talk about that, but I don't know. Identity politics. Let's break it down. Let's have real conversations. Don't just yell at each other. And then we can affect real change in this country.